Okay, I'm joined by Matt Miller. He is the Director of Field Systems Engineering, Australia New Zealand at F5 Networks. And Matt is at the Gartner conference. And Matt also gave a presentation this morning. Now, I'm filming this outside, so if there's a bit of wind noise, apologies. That's from my end, not from Matt's. But Matt, tell us, how are you going and how's the Gartner conference going up there on the Gold Coast?
Hey, Alex. Yeah, look, mate, it's very exciting. Setting up the stand and everything at the moment, so there's plenty of people getting around in high-vis vests, and yeah, it's amazingly big. There's a lot of vendors here, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. So one of I think the common trends is cloud and security, so which we fit it right into, which is fantastic.
And what's the short version of what you presented this morning?
Yeah, well, I actually just got out of my presentation, so it was standing room only, which is awesome. Yeah, it was about BFSI, so our banking and finance sort of understanding, and I'm lucky enough to have a bit of background in that industry. So what we spoke about was what are some of the global drivers that we're seeing from a vendor's perspective. The customers are asking us to be agile. They're asking us to be customer centric. With now being asked to understand more around things such as governance and compliance and risk versus reward, and these are the sorts of things that we're as a vendor responding to. And look, our response to that was around F5 synthesis, which is a bit of a marketing term for how we go to market from a software-defined application services perspective. And that's basically what I spoke to the guys about, the three different pillars of synthesis, which is around high-performance fabric, which is around orchestration and provisioning, and making sure that we don't leave any applications behind, and ultimately how we're seeing business models simplify because of the cloud movement. So,
what are some of the other challenges that are impacting the way that applications are delivered today?
Security. I 100% believe that security is the Damocles sword of the industry as far as cloud and delivering applications in an agile manner is really the problem child that we see at the moment, and that's where I think F5's in such an amazing and very unique spot at the moment, is that we've been participating with applications for over 20 years, right? So, we understand the application, we participate with the application. So to start layering, services over applications, and security is just one of them, along with uptime and availability, load balancing services is just part and parcel of what we do. It's no longer about the network. I think that the network-based security are going to find, that it's going to be tough for them moving forward because those barriers are breaking down. It's more about, identity access management. It's more about identifying those users and making sure that you're delivering applications to the right people at the right time. But it's also about, all applications, they're developed differently, right? And they're also published differently. Unless you have a fabric that resides beneath them and supports them uniquely, you're never going to get those applications to market in an optimized manner. And that's what synthesis, again, is all about, making sure that we have the right services based upon the application and its unique needs. And that's the part that's very exciting. And I got to say that I had a raft of people come up to me after the application, after the presentation today, and wanting to know more and how can they do better with their applications and move to cloud and cloud burst. It was great. It was fantastic. Really, really positive feedback.
Sure. And look, I don't mean to get you to repeat yourself, but I mean, what are some of the key trends that are impacting the BFSI industry in the region, and what sort of things are entailing, for F5 in financial year 15? What's the future, near-term future going to hold?
Yeah, look, well, let me start with BFSI. I think the big thing for BFSI at the moment is understanding what cloud means to them. I think that they look at it and they see it as a new tool in their toolkit, and they're sort of saying, okay, well, how can we consume this in the most optimal manner? We've never gone to your customers have never gone to market and bought one thing, right? They've always had multiple vendors, so that you can always have that contestability within your environment. And I think that now cloud gives them another form of contestability to make sure they optimize their environment. It's meant to be cheap, but it's also meant to be practical. So contestability between public and private is a really big driver for us, and making sure that our customers can consume both models. They're just not, they're not locked into one. That they have the scope and they have the ability to burst out to either. And making sure that their users and their customers also have a very transparent and also a very good customer experience. The last thing that we want to be seen as a vendor that, delivers poor performance. It's about being predictable and deterministic. And that's what, BFSI, especially more so now, and this is what I was talking to the crowd today about, is like, no longer do you have a demographic that wants to come into a branch or speak to a broker or an agent. They want to participate with their bank via an app. And that's, Gen Y, that's what they want. They want to interface with their banking institutions via their iPhone and their Android phone.
Oh, we just got a bit of just pause there for a second. See if we can come back. Hello, Skype, magic Skype, come back Skype. I'll just, Hexdoor's going to start doing some drilling, but we'll keep going until that, in case we get.
That's okay.
Do you want to just repeat that last bit again? It just dropped out when you said banking apps, for Android and iPhone, then it sort of just froze.
Yeah. So, look, and that's that's the way the demographics, the Gen Y want to participate with their banking institution, right? It's via an app, via their iPhone. They want to, that's how they go to market now. And banks and financial institutions need to respond accordingly. They need to be agile. They need to be innovative. And that's how they're going to be a market maker. They're going to be market making by being innovative and being agile and responding to their demographic and their customers' needs. And that's the way that F5 sees the world as well. We're all about the app. We're all about responding to the app and getting the app as far out there as we possibly can and making sure that the user has a good experience. That's what makes our customers innovative. It's one of the things that I said in my presentation today was, who here knows what the return of investment is of a network? It's nothing unless you put an application over the top of it.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter how far SDN commoditizes the network and whatever else, it's still a network. Yeah. And you need applications over it to drive bandwidth and drive consumption and extend your boundary outside the bricks and mortar of your data center, right? And that's what F5's all about.
It makes me think the medium is the message only if there's an app running on that medium.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
the connectivity is now, mate. It's like we're talking to each other over 4G Skype, right? And that's a great example of how the world is now. And I think, but it's the performance that matters.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously today is not the exhibition day because you were saying there's still guys with high-vis vis running around setting things up there.
Yeah.
So do you want to turn your laptop around for a second and let us have a sneak peek of the showroom floor there? There we go. We can see things all being set up. I suppose it's all in the final stages. There we go.
That's right.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Everyone's getting a sneak peek here. So, you probably encapsulated some of these things in what you've already said to me, but what really makes F5 different from your competitors?
Look, I think it was a testament today to see that, we have a solution that's very much application-centric, right? And I think that's the explosion of apps is driving the demand. And, F5 being, when these guys, when F5 originally started, they didn't know anything that that cloud was going to happen or whatever else. And I think that we're in such a perfect place right now to capitalize on the cloud revolution because we understand the application and we understand its ecosystem far better than any other vendor out there does today. It's all about leaving no application behind, and we've been doing this stuff for 20 years. So it's just now that we've really hit our full maturity and that we can really see, our full strength within the current market. And that's why, I'm so excited about this, right? You can probably see that, I'm on a bit of a high right now because
it's good.
It's really resonating. Yeah. It's really resonating, and that's the beauty of when you work at a vendor and people can see your vision and they can see what you're about. That's what matters. Sorry,
that's all right.
Someone coming in.
That's okay. What's a small handful of customers that you're happy to talk about, just in brief? Happy customers.
Happy customers. To be honest with you, I don't know off the top of my head. Probably have to get approval from my marketing guy who's sitting right beside me at the moment. Who's lots of banking, lots of in government, lots of insurance. So, but at
big names.
I probably should have come better prepared.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I mean, I can understand it can be sensitive. And
Yeah.
and do you have any final messages for ITY readers or people who are watching or reading that are your customers?
Yeah, look, I think one of the big things is every time you interface with an application, whether it's a web browser or whether it's an app on your iPhone, you can rest assured that there's an F5 sitting behind it there somewhere. So look, it's I think the cloud's pretty pretty bright for F5 moving forward. So I think that it's exciting time for F5 right now.
Okay, well, thank you, Matt. I hope you have a great conference, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for your time. See you.